The man casually pulled out 10 million yen. Then he pulled out 3 bills from inside and stuck them onto the glass of the pachinko machine. And the position just happens to cover 3 layers of discs as the man suddenly slammed the start button. One by one, the marbles successfully entered the disc. This scene left the manager in a state of alarm. The onlookers even more started complaining. They all clamored to see what was happening inside. However, before Kaishi could agree, the manager, furious, he tore off the banknotes directly. But the scene before them left everyone stunned. Several marbles lingered in the disc, and they hesitated to fall back into them. Just as the manager was puzzled, a marble was suddenly bounced off by Shaidong. Unexpectedly, that moment was filled with marbles. At this moment, the manager recalled Kai's words, double tilting can bring another miracle, and this is what Kai calls a miracle. The store manager began to ponder the problem constantly. When he saw that the vent was not disarming, he immediately felt as if the sky was falling. It turns out that the harm caused by double tilting can be found, turning the outlet pipeline uphill, so much so that marbles cannot be smoothly ejected. As time passes, the marbles in the pipe kept piling up, which caused them to climb onto the disc. At the same time, this is also a revenge battle for the fallen marbles. Upon learning the truth, the manager frantically reverses his perspective, but by now it is too late. Dead marbles couldn't be queued up for a while, and new marbles kept increasing. They run irregularly through the disc. Like a pursuit of rest, I consciously fell into the jackpot soon. The marbles on the first floor all fell into the second layer. The crowd immediately erupted in cheers, and this voice was directed at the store manager. It was more like a lifelong journey before leaving, as he weakly knelt on the ground, prepared to face that harsh reality. At this moment, the momentum on Kai's side was at its peak. 2 marbles entered the third level simultaneously. These 2 marbles carry miracles. Unfortunately, one fell in because it lost its power. Just as everyone felt regret, another path passed through the dead hole. It suddenly rushed toward the winning spot of Chi. Although the other one also failed, at this moment the threats were completely unfazed, because there was still a steady stream of marbles entering the third level. And indeed, it turned out just as he expected, since the second layer was already blocked, so 3 more successfully entered the third level. At this moment, the store manager, lying on the ground, was utterly shocked. Even he thought these 3 marbles would go in, but the underling nearby noticed something was wrong. Some even said they might be able to make it through. This sentence gave the manager a lifeline. After hearing his little brother's account, a spark of hope instantly ignited in his heart. Meanwhile, in the disc, although a marble entered the dead hole, but 2 paths passed through the dead holes, still heading toward the middle row. They seemed like 2 flying missiles, waiting for the moment of fame and achievement.
What? It is okay. There is one more one. One more one. Go.
This scene made Kaisi immediately realize something serious had happened. To win the 700 million yuan prize, he piled 20 tons of water on the top floor of the building, although successfully cleaned the entire building. But it also unexpectedly triggered a fatal problem. That is, the sink is positioned on the left, so the disc also tilts to the left. This causes the marbles to move toward the dead hole on the left. So now Swamp seems to have consciousness, constantly resisting every threat of winning. At this moment, Keith was also in extreme despair. He hadn't expected that. A small mistake became the most fatal hidden danger. Endo Marin, upon learning the truth, he urged Keith to hurry up and figure something out. Once the pipeline at the outlet is restored, then they will have no hope of any movement. Watching his panicked expression, Keith said, "Hey, get lost. Since the track of the winning spot is crooked, so why not play along and let the marble pass between number 2 and number 3, then follow the left track and move quietly for fun."
The problem is, on the road, I messed with it. On the road. On the road. On the road. On the road. On the road.
Just then, a marble entered the third layer. Everyone's hearts leapt into their throats, and they stared intently at the disc. Everyone was hoping for the moment the miracle would happen, but who would have thought the exhaust outlet would open at that very moment? Just when everyone thought the despairing jaws were wide open, but the marbles in the disc brought them back. Following the planned trajectory, he struck the chord in an instant. The passion throughout the venue was ignited. Whether he lives or dies, it all depends on this time.
Thank you for watching.
Unfortunately, Lady Luck ultimately did not side with Case. Behind her, Endo angrily punched her on the head. At this moment, she felt deep regret. How could he trust a poisonous dog like Case? But now, it is too late to say anything. Even Case began to lose heart. Although Kylie still had 4 million left, she saw no hope at all. Suddenly, a marble fell in. Casey stared in disbelief. The outlet pipeline has clearly been restored. Why are there still marbles that can get in? Still not waiting. He pondered as another marble entered the third level. The once extinguished light of hope was reignited. When everyone looked closely, they found that the dead holes on the first 2 levels were still blocked. This left everyone puzzled. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration struck him. The pipeline is open, but the hole was still blocked. The only explanation is that it was stuck inside. Keith was overjoyed upon learning the truth. Unexpectedly, a miracle still came to him. As long as the holes on the first 2 floors were still blocked, entering the third level is a sure thing.
4 million remain, so insufficient. Okay, 700 million were taken for it.
Next is a summary and analysis of this episode. The turning point for Kaisi to win was a series of unexpected events. First, the store manager used a double tilt, which successfully blocked the bullet ejection port. Secondly, although he has regained his tilt, but unexpectedly, God granted Kais a miracle. The marble inside the pipe was perfectly stuck inside. This brought him one step closer to victory. At the same time, it won him valuable extra time. However, from the perspective of placing the sinking correctly, we can see that Keith was making the plan. This lack of thoroughness led to a fatal crisis. Now, he could only borrow luck from heaven once again. Let the marbles enter the winning hole along a single trajectory. But this opportunity must race against time. And don't forget the store manager. They also have a secret weapon that they haven't used. If they find their secret weapon, the consequences will be unimaginable. However, the miracle in the show seems like luck, but the essence is to start by using crazy means. This greatly increases the probability density of psychic events. He created a stage for himself to witness miracles. This proves the saying, miracles are another name for hard work.